Right now, just to keep you watching this video, three things are working without a break. Your heart is beating, your blood is moving, and your brain is running the whole operation. Take away any one of them, and you have minutes to live. Probably less. But there is one animal that has none of them. They are about 95% water. Lift them out of the sea, and they can barely hold their own shape. And yet, this creature has existed for more than 500 million years, and has outlasted almost every animal that has ever lived. So how does a bag of water with no brain, heart, and blood not just survive, but thrive? Let's start with the missing brain. When you touch something sharp, the signal races up to your brain. Your brain decides and sends the command back down. Everything you do passes through one control center sitting inside your skull. A jellyfish has no control center. Instead, they have what's called a nerve net. Picture a fishing net laid over the entire body, a mesh-like system of nerve cells wired across the whole animal. A jellyfish runs two of these nets at once. A large one controls swimming, and a smaller one handles everything else, including feeding. That loose web is enough for a jellyfish to smell, sense light, and respond to the world around them. When a sea turtle bites a chunk out of a jellyfish, there is no brain to destroy. The jellyfish simply keeps working with the parts they have left. The sensors that survive carry on as if nothing happened. But with no brain, how do they know anything at all? Which way is up, where the light is, and when to move? Spaced around the rim of the bell are tiny sensory structures called rhopalia. Each one holds a small, dense crystal that works as a gravity detector. It tells the jellyfish which way is up, using the same basic trick your own inner ear uses to keep you balanced. Each one also holds light-sensing cells that read the difference between the bright surface above and the dark water below. What about heart, blood, and vessels? In humans, blood is a delivery service. Our heart pumps it through thousands of miles of vessels to carry oxygen to cells buried deep inside us. We need that system because we are thick. The cells in the middle of our body are a long way from the outside world. A jellyfish solved that problem by refusing to have a middle. Their body is essentially two thin layers of living cells with a clear jelly pressed between them. Almost nothing in a jellyfish sits more than a hair's width away from the surrounding seawater, so they don't pump oxygen anywhere. Oxygen simply drifts straight in from the water, on its own, across the skin. The ocean itself is their bloodstream. A jellyfish can survive in water so starved of oxygen that fish suffocate and die. But even the simplest of creatures still has to eat, and they cannot chase anything. They have no brain to plan a hunt, no jaws, no speed. So they hunt with some of the fastest weapons on the entire planet. A jellyfish's tentacles are loaded with microscopic stinging capsules. Each one is a coiled, venom-tipped harpoon, wound up under enormous pressure, waiting. When prey brushes the trigger, the capsule fires. High-speed studies have clocked this firing at around 700 billionths of a second, with an acceleration that briefly outpaces a fired bullet. The stung prey is carried in toward the center of the bell into a simple hollow gut. They have a single opening. The food goes in through that hole. The leftovers come back out the same hole. When you strip an animal down to the essentials, it turns out you don't even keep two openings. Let's talk about sleep. We always believed sleep is something a brain does. But in 2017, scientists at Caltech tested it on an upside-down jellyfish called Cassiopeia. They tracked them around the clock and watched for the three signs we use to define sleep in any animal. First, they became less active at night. Their gentle pulsing dropped from about 58 beats a minute down to around 29. Second, they were slower to react when disturbed, but snapped back to normal quickly. And third, when the researchers kept them awake through the night by nudging them with little pulses of water, they were sluggish and groggy the next day, as if paying off a debt. The Caltech team called them the most ancient animal known to do so. And then there is the last one, the strangest of all. In the Mediterranean and beyond lives a jellyfish smaller than your fingernail, called Turritopsis dohrnii. When they are injured, or starving, or simply growing old, they do something no other complex animal can do. They do not die. Their body folds back in on itself, settles to the seafloor, and reverts to an earlier stage of their own life, the polyp they once grew from. Maybe the jellyfish were never missing anything. Maybe they just found an easier way to be alive.